Thank you so much, John, for your steadfast love, and Therese, and my daughter Melanie is here, and Catrice as well. And some of you I recognize from other poetry slams. And thank you, Hannah and friends. This will be definitely Incite. It will go down in history today because of who all we are. But I'm delighted you invited me to share my poetry. And as I look in every Zoom box, I can only say how proud I am of each and every one of you, because you are yourselves. You can express yourself and be yourself. And we've come a long way since Stonewall. And just so you know, I was not a bystander. I was inside the Stonewall on the night of the riot. Okay. And there is the New York Police Department put together a documentary, which soon will be released, called Inside Stonewall. And it's going to really slam all those naysayers and who say they were walking by. But you know, you look for it, and I'll try to keep in sight, abreast of it. But anyway, I'm so glad to pass the Stonewall torch to each and every one of you. And so my poetry, is going to be an eclectic blend from blitzes to villanelles, sonnets, free verse, spoken word. And it'll take on many forms, and it'll cross-section my life. So I hope you enjoy my selections. It was really hard to choose. But this first poem will take you to Brooklyn 70 years ago, where I was born. So enjoy the sights and sounds. It's called Nets for Bay, and it's a blitz. I love Bath Beach. I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn Cyclone. Cyclone is a roller coaster. Cyclone in Coney Island. Island of Liberty, Island of Wonder. I wonder why there's not another Z in Verrazano. Wonder Wheel, Wheel and Deal mob style. Wheel Barrel, Barrel Ride at Nellie Bly's. Barrel Laughs at Fun House. House of Cards, House of Brick in Brooklyn. Brooklyn Botanical, Brooklyn San Gennaro Feast. Feast on a Zeppelin, Feast of the Dead. Dead Heat, Dead Night, Nightlife, Nighttime. Time to ride the L, time to be born. Born in Bath Beach, born in Brooklyn, Brooklyn Bridge, Brooklyn Pizza, Pizza Pie at LMB's, Pizza at Spumoni Garden, Garden in Prosper Park, Garden Flower, Flower Show, Flower Power, Power Walk, Power Talk, Talk Funny. Do you think? Talk is cheap. Cheap is the price of a Charlotte Russe. Cheap skate. Skate at Rollerama. Skate through Dyker Park. Park at Fort Hamilton. Park along 27th Street by the Bay. Bay forever gently flows. Bay inspires poetry. Poetry flows. The next one, I'm going to take you back to England. Thank you, everyone. In prison in England was my favorite guy at the turn of the century. And for me, he is, like I am your pioneer, he is definitely my and our pioneer too. And this is for Oscar Wilde. And it's called From the Pillory. And people usually ask me, well, what's a pillory? A pillory is where they take your hands and your neck and they put them in this wooden machine. And they used to put him on the metro platform where people mistreated him. So again, this is From the Pillory. I stood in the gray November rain, a clown whose heart was broken, a zany of sorrow, grotesque, handcuffed and in convict dress. As a train sluggishly rolled, people jeered. They stared at my withered form, a spectacle on wooden platform. My head and hands tightly fettered, the humiliations of my paltry life. And I shut my eyes, eluding impolite glares of those who were traveling someplace nice, yearning to voyage, wishing I were free, as in the gray of November, it cries for me. And another poem now is called Transcending Generations. Thank you. As a child, I spent many hours with Jack Kerouac. So this is, yes, Morgan, I see your face. Yes, and so he used to wear these pink girly slippers when he was running about town. So this is Transcending Generations. On the road, in his pink girly slippers and Japanese kimono, Canadian club in hand, snapping his fingers to jazz, he saunters to Washington Square Park, and on a converging road wearing fringed moccasins, I trot along McDougal Street, browse head shops along Bleecker and humming a popular tune. I then come to rest on a boulder just beyond the men playing chess in Washington Square, and I strum my folk guitar with resolve. Mushroom to enhance creativity, he offers. And I sing the blues all the while, intrigued by him and his black shades, black Japanese kimono, black beret, and rolling nickels bulging from pocket. I am charmed by his toe tapping and feathery pink slippers, bopping head and finger popping. He exclaims, "Good beat, man, really beat." And his shy eyes study my psychedelic hippie threads and seed bees. "Groovy, man," I reply, plucking a 12-bar beat. And he raises a paper cup to my lips, and I swig the sweet whiskey. And he flashes his blue eyes. "Beatific, man, you wail, nickel for your thoughts." "Heavy, man," I reply, "far out." And hand in hand, we beat the gravel to burn like a yellow Roman candle. They are not. Okay, here we go. I lost you. I almost lost the whole transmission went down. Okay, they are one, not two. They are not he or she, nor me or you. They have identity, not to be confused. Or are they waiting to decide their sexuality anytime soon? No, they are they as she and he, could be me or you. They are simply they when greeted by us. And as you know, in America, about 5 years ago, we had a terrible tragedy at the Pulse nightclub. And this is in memoriam, and it's called "Squeezed a Blood Red." Sunshine State, city beautiful, South Orange Avenue, squeezed a blood red. In magical playland where mice scurry and pixies sprinkle dust, and they bow their animated heads as the Queen of Hearts sits in a teacup sobbing, her character smile upside down, squeeze a blood red. And earlier downtown, dance club is bustling, vibrant, and gay. It is Latino night on a Saturday, and young hearts joyous and alive. Mambo, cha-cha, freestyle, DJ spinning latest tunes, last tunes, as the night is squeezed a blood red. Madmen, mass shooter, massacring LGBTQ patrons trapped inside our family, most all in their primes. A melodic syncopated rhythm streams in the nightclub as gunshots hammer out. This is the sound of death as the night is squeezed a blood red. And shocked and shaken youths spill out into the Florida night. Everywhere you look, South Streets, Kaylee, Esther, Muriel outstretch their arms to those within reach. A slaughter has happened here, a nocturnal unrest as the night is squeezed a blood red. And it is dawn. A black pulse sun reluctantly rises, and sulfuric clouds cloak Pulse nightclub. Latino night, Orlando, has gone awry, sorrowful, sanguine, abandoned, silent. Contiguous streets mourn and weep as they wrap South Orange in a shroud, and the night is squeezed a blood red. Sappho romping, Sappho romping in her rose garden on the island of Lesbos, and two women kiss passionately, limbs entwined, their bodies stark and quivering, with nature so free, without thorny worry. The poetess caresses her lover, and on Mount Olympus, Aphrodite sighs, and the earth quakes. And right here on Long Island, we had a lesbian bar. And for those of you who weren't born then, way back when, we had the lesbians with their own bar, the gay men with their own, and the poor transgender community, they went between both bars, but often they were lumped, unfortunately, with the transvestites. So this is about a lesbian bar on Long Island called South Broome. It is Monday, 10 p.m. I sit on a black wooden stool in a lesbian bar, far away from the nuances and predictabilities of a heterosexual world. And I am thinking about us when times were happier, and our passions are now quashed, but I continue to think. My thoughts keep flashing like a constant pressure upon a shutter, a long playing record stuck in a groove. They keep skipping and droning. Do you remember when? I wash down these images with cola. Some taste sugary, some are bubbly, and some sting the delicate lining of my throat. Love is oft like that, sweet when it is found, sour as when it's gone bad, bitter as when it's lost. And my visions of you dissipate, and the Indigo Girls blare from the jukebox. They are singing, "There is life down below me." I think about the verse as pool sticks and stools are pushed aside and couples hurry to the already crowded dance floor. A stone butch in a green and white striped shirt saunters towards me, gently stretching a hand in my direction. She is the reminder of why I am so proud to be the dyke that I am. She is proof love exists. Love, when it finds me, will take me home. It is Monday, 10 p.m. I sit on a black wooden stool. Okay, everyone. And now we're going to go to Paris. And we are all going to be invited and go to Gertrude Stein's salon. So I am going to read this poem, Mother Goose of Montparnasse, in the voice of Gertrude Stein. This is Mother Goose of Montparnasse. Gertrude was a friend of mine, lived at 27 Rue de Flores. At Rue de Flores, she lived amongst the many things she liked to do or could have done, or possibly not liked at all, while doing the things she liked to do or would do, or sometimes were not new, or sitting in a grand room flushed with art. Perhaps she was not in a room with things in art, the things in art she would see or chose not to see had she wanted to see, or do the things she chose not to do, like perusing the walls of art as she listened to music or welcoming guests with a book in hand, or handing the book while welcoming guests who handed her the book. They walk around noshing on crumpets and drinking tea, sipping or gulping the tea. As the guests were drinking at the salon at 27 Rue de Flores, chocked with walls of art by Matisse, Picasso, Cézanne, and not this art of the surrounding walls we can see, we can touch, we can lean on, we can listen to verses by Hemingway or not listen to him at all, but stare at the cubistic walls, so surreal and vibrating with the still life affairs that we see or not see or think we see upon the mystical wall. The wall is a wall or thinks it's a wall, even it does not know it is a wall. Oh, how the walls hold art, caress them like a maiden that is standing against the wall, doing the things she does, whether she really does it or not. Oh, if walls could talk, they would do it or do it not. Tell all as poets and painters and writers and dancers gather, not performing their art, or not doing the things they want to do, performing and reciting poetry, or not to recite poetry while painting a portrait of a poet with the canvas tacked to the wall, the breathing wall of motion that is stilled with the painting of a poet doing nothing or something that is nothing, becoming something or just being, choosing what to do or not to do it, painting with paint or not paint, maybe pastel dancers who are properly dressed for the occasion in tutu and taffeta, tattered whirls of colors. They swirl, swirling as they whirl in taffeta and tutu, colorful tatters tattering on a whirl, a swirl spinning dizzy to the words of poets poetic words they choose to like or not like as they press against the art-covered walls, against the worlds of tutu and pastel. Like roses on a vine, they all entwine until nothing could smell as sweet as a rose, if it so chooses to be a rose. To be smelled or not to be smelled, to be held to the nose or held to the wall is a work of art, if it so chooses or not. A rose is a rose, is a capturing the fragrances at the salons as absurd as Mother Goose or Montparnasse, held at the home at 27 Rue de Flores at Gertrude Stein's abode. Now, that is a tongue twister and a half. And that is the short version. It actually goes 8 pages. And a real quick one again, this is called The Price of Success, for another person I brushed shoulders with and got to know way back when. Her name was Lee Israel. And the poem is self-explanatory. So this is called Price of Success. Can you ever forgive her alcoholism, lesbianism, New York Times best-selling authorism? Can you forget agents who returned her calls, who did not offer contracts at all, or listen to anything Miss Israel had to say, who failed to give her the time of day, that claimed her apt writing style was passé? Can you forgive a lesbian monument to the word, penning famous puns as if overheard, who to survive assumed the life of a forger, and alcohol politely delayed this woman's departure, and Simon & Schuster published a felonious memoir, raise a toast to this dyke literate with a sidecar? Can you ever forgive me is the title of a brilliant repent. The intense book reads as if a screen treatment, and New York Times lauds her achievement. Lee herself would chuckle in post-death highbrow as her cremated soul takes a collective bow. Can you ever forgive this writer who fell on hard times, who claimed no other skill, therefore turned to crime? Her story is a tale of woe, a read must. Can you ever forgive her? If not, as Lee may have said, bite my motherfucking departed gin soap dust. And that's for Lee. And moving right along, I'm going to read a poem, call her Franco. Woman to woman, as we danced, you held me in your thick-set arms. Honey, sweet maize, your scent wafted from the nape of your neck, the bold essence of you emanating to catch its prey, the zenith of attraction too mighty to deny. Woman to woman, throughout the night, possessive blue agave eyes sit me as if Patron, catchers of my image, controllers of my every whirl, and I fervently searched your face, captivated as you stared. Wordless, your eyes spoke to me. What is revealed, what could be seen in their fullness, was an abstraction of a man, blinded by the glare of a new sunrise, and terrified he would not be accepted. Woman to woman, the brawny of your body declared it all. I was attentive to your hunger, yet in my reverie I failed to ask, and you held on to a secret you did not share. And enamored by our attraction, you could not see me or I you. We pushed each other away. Wounded was our pride. Woman to woman, as we danced, our sensual bouquet eroded like thunderous breakers against the Fire Island shore. In every ebb and flow, every sunrise and sunset, the confusion, the push away from you, and time after time, frantically, like a hurried death, never revealing, always roaring, dissatisfied within, and still we collided along the coast of what could have been. Woman to woman, as we danced, all became clear while you lived by the sea. The surf is so much like you, my dear friend, or shall I say, you are the rolling sprays. Woman, oh, whoa, man, hey, man, our chances have poured out the hourglass of life, and grains of sand have trickled. They sit at the bottom of time, the elusive force which binds and blinds the choice one makes. Woman to woman, Sadness evokes my soul, the memories of when we swayed, your handsome smile, the deep blue eyes, a muscular build, the melody of our bodies, a song which was fleeting. Woman, oh woman, would I do it again? Yes, if not for the pain our blending has caused, if only we had given us a chance, if only you would have communicated, if only I could have told you just once, if only, woman to woman, as we danced, I suspected you were a trans man. And this is a little fun thing. Recipe Francis Bacon. It's a series I'm working on now, mixing art and poetry. Recipe Francis Bacon. In skillet, sizzle thick, homoerotic dark slabs mixed with oily impasto of banana yellow, glowing orange, and pomegranate red. Fry on medium heat, careful not to splatter against walls and doors as it browns. Let out a visceral mantra, bacon, bacon. Slice a rack of beef, add potatoes, popes, twisted limbs, eggs, and gnarled lovers. Spoon in drops of blood, salt, turn until crisp. Let out another visceral mantra, bacon, bacon. Garnish with cheddar and chives, blueberries on the side. Dangle a Marlboro from screaming mouth. Pour a glass of whiskey on an overcast day. Sit in an empty room, perhaps a cage. Do not forget your umbrella. And I have one more before my final poem. And this is from my new book. It's filled with flower pantoums. And it's called Flower Poems, Personalities in Bloom. But the poem is called Winter Creeper. Winter Creeper, you are as strong as I am. Gay and green, nothing stands in your way. You fight in summer for the right to thrive. Your legacy clings upon a stone wall, unchanged. Gay and green, nothing stands in your way. Horticultural heretics neglect your imprint. Your legacy clings upon a stone wall, unchanged. No matter how they try to sever you, you cling. Horticultural heretics neglect your imprint. Emerald, gay winter creeper, adhere to the wall, no matter how they try to sever you. You cling, forever living and climbing the stone wall. And last, as you could see, I go all over the place. Lucky I didn't read one of my sonnets. Now I want everyone to unmute. And I don't know if we could pull this off because, you know, when people are usually unmute and they all scream together, it's mumbo jumbo on Zoom. But this is never before tried on Zoom. Are you all unmuted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
All right. So we're going to go back to the Stonewall. I'm going to bring you inside. I may just, Alexander, I may just try to lose myself in there. Alexander, you pull me back and tell me where we are, okay?
Okay.
So this poem has never been tried on Zoom. Okay, so what we're going to do, it's a call and response type of thing. And I'm going to do it for Incite tonight. So
unmute yourself. Sorry.
Who muted me? What happened, Morgan?
Oh, I was just reminding one of us to unmute herself.
Oh, you're a darling. Okay. I thought I muted myself by mistake, but that's okay. We're going to travel back to the Stonewall. Now, you know, when that documentary comes out, you'll see where I was and everything. But to tell you, I was from the middle to the front. And these are some of the people who were in the Stonewall. And of course, you know, as a poet, we have to embellish. Who remembers what color the person was wearing, right? So we have to do that. All right. So now I'm gonna ask you all to try to say, every time I try to remember to point, I need you to say, put the T first, okay? And the reason I wrote this poem is it's a gift to the trans community because I'm no spring chicken, okay? And I needed to set the record, put it all right. So let's begin. Everybody tried. Put the T
first.
Put the T first.
Okay, so we're just gonna go crazy, but every time I point, just go put the T
Put the T first.
Where
Put
it
the
belongs.
T first. Put the
Good,
T
one more
first.
time.
First.
Put the T
Put the
first.
T first.
T first. Put the T first.
Bisexual,
Put the T
transgender.
first. Put
Do
the
you
T
know why
first.
this
Put the
acronym
T
is not
first.
correct? Put the
Put the
T
T
first.
T first.
Where
Put
it
the T
belongs and
first. Put the
musty,
T first.
smoky, dismal, dank hole in the wall, reeks of beer and darkness and independence about to be born. Put the T
Put
first.
T first.
Where it
T
belongs and
first.
squares,
Put the T first.
queens in drag. Call us what you may. We are all here. Put the
Put the
T
T
first.
first.
Put the T first. Put the
Jimmy
T
ain't
first.
coming back. Leader of the pack. One fine day could be today, and purple midriff, eyeline black, bangs her bangles against the bar, tears in her eyes. Somewhere over the rainbow, Judy went. Put the T first. I find
Put the T first.
dancing slow, and I'm in heaven, and house lights overhead. Grab a guy, any guy. Put the T first.
T first. Put the T first. Put the T first.
From the street, and fear in their hearts, gun to their chest, shouts a faggot. Poof, you can't imagine the rest. Put the T first. Then purple.
Put the T first.
In a nasally voice, she mourns, she warns. Judy died, Judy died. They can't leave us alone. And the bartender's out from behind the bar, and he's bounding in the darkened hall, and cops are nipping at his heels, and face to face. If they were lovers, they would embrace, but this is not the case. And young bulldog and a guy in a fringe vest runs from the hall to the bar front shouting, they're all gonna kill us. Put the T first.
Put the T first.
The woman jumps to her feet, leads the cry, enough. Leave us alone. Alone, we are told to sit, some stand. There's too much confusion. I can't understand. Put the T first.
Put the T first. Put the T first.
On the door as she tries to resist. Identify yourself, cop shouts, pushing me back. And hey, man, I'm really pissed. And Stonebridge Vinny is caught in the shuffle and standing strong with purple midriffs as they shout, leave us alone. And the transgender woman cries, Judy died. Enough. Are we all gonna die? Put the T first.
T first. Put the T first. Put the T first.
It's a surprise. SURPRISE. Uprise. Black, white, Latino, straight, gay, old, young. We take a stand, and in unity we raise our fist, and we are not gonna be harassed any longer. And outside, that Zoom crowd is growing stronger. Put the T first.
Put the T first. Put the T first. Put the T first.
Deafening. Leave us alone, pigs. Hey, let us be. And the brilliant cop is pushing me, and the crowd is breaking as we're shoved out the door. And purple midriff, black eyeliners smeared all over the floor. And I am not gonna take this anymore. Put the T first.
Put the T first.
And I take a stand, jump on the man who is bashing trans, purple midriff. This could have been you, and hey, you in that Zoom box, it could have been you. And the paddy wagon is in the cobble street, and cops are dragging purple midriff by her feet and high heel in hand. And I'm still on the back of the man as we take a stand. So put the T first. Put the T first.
Put the T first.
LGB and even S for our straight community. This is how our acronym should be. The night we were set free, fighting for freedom at the Stonewall Inn. And I will never forget that beautiful trans woman of 50, purple midriff, eyeline, long dark hair. She raised her voice over the din. She led the way. This is why I say, everyone, put the T
Put the T first.
Put the T first.
One more
Put
time.
the T first.
Put the T first. Put the T first. Put the T first.
Put the T first. Put the T first. This is awesome.
I love how chaotic this is.